Buddy, we are starting very soon. It would be great if you can confirm you can hear me and you can see me. That would be the best. So I hope you're going to have a great little live stream with me. And if you want to, you can share the link on your social media, on your Instagram, on your Facebook, because of course, the more the better. We are going to see each other very soon. I'm just checking if everything is working the way it should. So maybe 5 more minutes and we officially start. So we are getting ready. I prepared some of the elements I would like to include. I've got some things that I collected. And we are going to work with the new set of the liquid acrylics called Sentimental. Here are all the sets together. So here we go. This is the set that we have for today. Of course, we can add some other colors as well. Hello, hello, everybody. I can see we've got a very international group today. I'm very happy to see so many friends from all over the world. It is great. If you would like to help, you can give a thumb up to the video because this makes it more visible on the YouTube. And of course, it's going to be easier for somebody to find it if they're just looking for some content they like. Hello, hello, Robin. Hello, Chrissy. Hello, Ilona, Vasilis. Hello, Lindana, Lucille. Hello, hello. Oh, good to see people from Poland. Bardzo mi miło, że ktoś z Polski też się pojawił. So we are going to slowly start. So hello, everybody. It's good to see you. And today I'm here with you to talk a little bit more about new set of the liquid acrylics. Limited edition sets of the liquid acrylics are on the market now. So this is like the super fun release we made, 4 sets, and together with those sets that are like limited colors, are going to be on the market just for the limited time. We also decided to release 4 mood boards. And this is the... Whoa! Sorry, I should not touch the screen. This is the mood board that goes with the Sentimental set. It was made by my friend Tusha, and she was inspired by the colors in the 3 bottles of paint. This is going to be my inspiration to make a project this month for you. And of course, the plan is to continue this idea in the next months as well. So in December, we're going to work with the Precious set, in January with the Juicy set, and then in February with Dreamy set. So there will be always an excuse to use the liquid acrylics, to talk about techniques that you can use liquid acrylics for, and of course to create a project. So that is something that you can put into your calendar, because my plan is to make a project with you every month based on the mood board that we have. So just saying hello to everybody. It's great to have you here. Kilaya says, I'm having trouble finding them in Spain. Some stores that I know are not bringing them, and others didn't know when I, or if anybody know of any internet Spanish store what sells them. That's a very good question. If you are from Spain and you know about the shop, please help out Kilaya to find them. If not, we can always ship internationally from Ireland. That is also an option. But I would expect there will be shops having them, and this is probably a little bit of a delay because of the shipping from United States. They were released in the end of October, beginning of November, so maybe they are still coming. But it's good to let your shops know that you are interested in them. So it will be great if you can let them know. So it is, if it's possible, if you know about the shop in Spain that will have them, the new 4 colors and the new stencils, 4 colors, the new 4 sets and the stencils, please let us know in the comments. Okay, so I will show you the I will show you the mood board. I will show you what inspired me to go with that idea, and then we will try to put it all together. So, you know, I'm going to show what kind of ideas I've got, and we're going to make a simple but fun dimensional collage based on the mood board and on the colors. And in the meantime, we're also going to use the colors of the liquid acrylics, of course, in the combination with other art basics, art extravagance, or art alchemy products from Prima Marketing and from Finnabair. So that is the plan for today. Thank you very much for joining. If you I can see there are people joining still. So it is great if you can share that with your friends. This is something open for everybody. And I hope it's going to give you some joy, maybe some experience, something that is going to inspire you to create. And also maybe give you an idea how to work with the mood boards. And if you get inspired by one of our mood boards, don't forget to tag us on Instagram or on Facebook, Finnabair Studio or Finnabair Studio mood board, so we can see and repost your projects as well, because of course, the more the merrier. So let me show you what I've got today. This is my messy table, and here is my table prepared. Yes, I've got blue hair now. Well, partly blue. And it's going to last for some time. So I really like the blue color. Apparently, this is something I like. And so let's have a look at the mood board. This is the mood board we created. And what we can see here is a combination of the textures, colors, and elements. And I found some things that really sparkled my inspiration. Oh, you look like a royal peacock. Oh, thank you. That's great. So first of all, look at this. This is beautiful yarn. It's yarn in the ochre color. So I was trying to find something that will have this color, and I found pieces of yarn including this color. So there's a bit of the yarn I can use. There are some parts that will be golden yellow, just like this. So why not including this texture and this color into my project? The other parts are not so great, but we have something. And then I've got a piece of thread like that, multicolor as well. So I can take the parts that I like. This is not exactly the color of the lavender from our mood board, but maybe. Then, if you look here, these are hydrangeas, and I'm not sure if you remember, long time ago, the first flowers that Prima was releasing, these were hydrangea petals. And I was thinking it's a great excuse to come back to this, to give them the right color and to include them in the project. These were like almost the first flowers I remember that I saw from Prima. These mulberry hydrangea petals. And these will be just easy to add color to them. Maybe not the green one, but the lighter colors. So they would go beautifully with this mood board as well. So, not just the color palette is inspiring us, but also what we see in the mood board. So after brainstorming, I found that, and I was thinking, yeah, that may be a really cool idea. Then we've got some natural things such as branches and leaves. I don't really have leaves, but I went to my garden and I collected some little twigs, so little branches from my acer, from my maple tree. So I have Japanese maples there, so I think that is going to add this kind of vibe to the project as well. It's going to be something natural. And then I saw the textures of the baskets here. And the baskets, well, I don't have anything of the same material, but I found some chipboards that kind of are similar to the pattern you may see in the baskets. So I was thinking maybe we can include them in the background. That was another idea. Then I took my last look at the mood board and I wanted to show you this. And this is the most beautiful idea for the background. So that will be our pink and our ochre together to create nice drips in the background. And then on the top of that, we could add some stenciling with the white paste. We could add some really beautiful texture that is going to go on the top. And for this purpose, we can use some of the stenciling. There is like a lace stenciling in the new set called not Sentimental. Oh my God, Shabby Romantic. So that would be a good reflection of that idea, as well as maybe adding some lace patterns as well on the top of that to create even more layers for the background. So you can see in one mood board, you not only look at the colors, but you get a lot of hints you can include into your project. If you don't know where to start, you can look for the textures, like ideas of the design, ideas of the colors and textures, even the yarn. There is so much you can take from here and just simply play. So I hope that is going to give you an idea what you can do to create a project using these elements, using the mood board. You can get inspired with all of that. You can get inspired with just selected parts. This is not obligatory to focus on every element, but for sure, I would like to make this kind of background on my stretched canvas. So I will use either paper paste or modeling paste on the top of the background based on ochre and powder pink color. Do I see a new tattoo? I love it. From the new stencil. No, we got tattoos together with Olga and Nuneka when we were, and Natalie when we were in the UK together. So yeah, it's a new tattoo, but it's not a detail from the stencil. Okay. So when the new stand sets will be available in Poland? Magda, I hope any moment now, because they are shipping. Prima keeps shipping them. Whoever is going to place the orders, they can get them basically right away, because this is in the warehouse waiting for the shipping. So it all depends on the shops. I'm not sure who are the wholesalers in Poland, but I would expect if the shops will order, it's going to be in the stock very quickly. When we ordered for Ireland, we had it delivered within a week, so that was very quick. Thank you. I'm happy you like the colors. I have my little prepared, like the pre-arranged basket with different supplies. I was thinking they may work together with my elements I prepared for the collage. So this is how I usually start my project. I go into my stash and I look for the elements they may work. Because I took some twigs, I also took some pieces of the wood, and I've got some gears as always. I've got some butterflies, and I've got this tag that may be really nice for adding the text. And I was looking for the photo that will go with this set, and I found this image. This is from Art House Whimsy. This girl with the pumpkins. It also has this autumn vibe, and I think these colors, they go really nicely with autumn, because we've got this nice brown and pink, and then there's a bit of lavender also is the color that is the color of the heather in some way. So that kind of gives us the vibe of the colors. So what I was planning to do, it was to add the color to my hydrangea leaves, and then to create the background. And when it is drying, we will add the stenciling over it. So we will have this effect I was showing you in the mood board. Colors of pink and brown, and then nice stenciling on the top. In the meantime, the hydrangeas are going to dry. So we will have them ready whenever we would like to add them to the composition. So we don't have to wait with the heat gun all the time. So I think my first step is going to be creating a bit of the flowers that are going to be included in the project. So just to show you some more inspiration, this is the same set. So this is combination of the ochre, lavender, and powder pink on the black background. This is the project I made as well with the same colors, but completely different vibe to the romantic and nature-inspired project I'm doing today. So just to keep in mind, I'm going to put it on my social media very soon, but this is what you can do with the same colors as well. Okay, because I'm creating and looking at the chart at the same time, please keep in mind, if there is an important question you would like me to answer and I don't see it, just keep repeating until I will see this question. Please keep in mind that I need to work and look at the screen at the same time. So now, I'm not sure how many of you know that, but liquid acrylics are very highly pigmented acrylic paints. You can use for many techniques, and we are going to use it to create the background today, but also we are going to turn them into sprays. So they're going to be permanent sprays after drying. So what you need is a bottle, and of course, it doesn't have to be full, because we don't need to have a full bottle of spray. And we're going to create lavender spray to add the colors to our hydrangeas. So I've got the paper flowers, and we're going to pick some of them to give them this color I could see on the mood board. So I'm going to pick the ones which are the lightest in color. Let's take this one as well. So there will be some variety in sizes. I'm not sure how many I need. I think this should be enough. Okay, so we have some smaller ones and some bigger ones. And now we are going to spray them nicely. So in case, if you're looking for solution of how to get a spray for your projects, how to get permanent spray for your projects, liquid acrylics are your great friends because they are highly pigmented and they can work very well as a spray. On the top of that, once you mix it nicely, you can also add some mica powder or a little bit of extra paint to add the shimmer. So it's going to be even better. So you have like more than just flat spray. Let's see. This is really, really nice, delicate lavender. I'm going to add a tiny bit more so it's more saturated. And of course, after mixing, you can keep this spray in the bottle for quite a long time. So let's say like a teaspoon for, let's say half of the bottle or more than half of the bottle is going to give you the saturated color. Remember, lavender is a pastel color, so it's going to be light. We're going to get effect similar to this one here. But if you are going to use some other colors from the range, some of them are super saturated, and that means they are going to give you very strong colors. So now we're just going to give this nice spraying to our hydrangea petals, and I'm going to do it on both sides because you never know which part is going to be visible. This one is basically purple already. So this is easy way to add the color. You don't have to do it with the brush. You can just put it into the sprayer. And now I'm going to put it in the nice and dry, warm place. So when we work on our project, this is going to dry in the meantime. Okay. I love the colors, but I would not know how to implement them into my style. I love the project you showed. I just love how you incorporate them. It really depends what kind of style you prefer, but colors can work for you no matter which color is your favorite. If you're more into grungy, you just use them more as accents together with neutral colors. Black, white, and brown are neutrals you can always use. So it's a great opportunity to play with different color palettes. So I have my lavender flowers ready. I will put them for drying. And then we're going to work on the background. So when it is drying, we can work on this beautiful pink and ochre background I spotted in the mood board just to show you again what my inspiration is. I really would like to create this effect you can see here. So it's going to be a bit of pink together with a bit of brown, and then on the top we are going to add the lace pattern. So we need some white space to start on and then add the colors in the way they're not going to mix it with each other too much. So let's see what we can do. So I'm going to start with putting two colors on the plate. And then again, I have a water sprayer here. So if I want to make them flow and drip, it's going to help me to do it. I mix my colors, especially the pastel ones. They need a bit of mixing before using because they have a little bit of the white tone in there. So I think we're going to plan the background a bit. I wanted to include this cute girl with the pumpkins. She's going to be somewhere here, so we have quite a lot of space for playing with the different techniques, and I'm just thinking which way is going to be better, but probably tall canvas with the tall photo is going to be the right one. This will go over once the colors are there. So first we have to start with the paints. I can spray on the background a little bit, so they're going to flow even nicer. And I will apply first color and let it flow a bit. So you need to go and add quite a lot of water here. And if something is not working the way you want it, you can move your finger over it as well. We have here, so let's do a little bit. Oh, it's already with brown. Well done, me. But you can see how pretty the background is going to be. I just put it in the right, directly into ochre right away. I don't want them to blend too much, so I will dry my pink first. And then I will add more of the brown, of course, except this accident that happened already. I still want to see some of the white background as well. So I will try to keep it closer to the middle. And then using your heat gun, you can dry some of the paint. The reason I'm doing this, I would like to keep my colors from blending too much. You can see you can move your paint using the heat gun as well and pick up this brown. And we have like the first color of the background getting ready. What is your favorite color of the liquid acrylics if you have them in your stash? Let me know. What is your favorite color? Because it's always good to know what makes people happy. Because when I design them, I have some ideas which colors may be more exciting than others. But then later on, you discover like, whoa, I was not expecting this will be people's favorite. Green and burnt sienna. Well, burnt sienna, I think, has this first place in many people's hearts. So you can see how nice like watercolor effect we're getting even on the canvas. If you're going to do it on the watercolor paper, the effect is going to be even more striking. You can create more saturated and less saturated parts. It's nice because you just play. Lavender purple and violet, Karen. Also carmine. Malachite. Thank you. Deep turquoise and yellow ochre. Yay. You can see it dries. So it started to have nice puddles of the pink. Now we are going to do a little bit of the ochre and decide do we want to add more of some color as well. Whatever I dry now is going to turn permanent. So it's a great way to prepare your backgrounds without being worried that something may bleed later. Almost there. Just a few puddles left. Forgot malachite. Oh, I'm happy that is working for you. Malachite is going to be included in the December mood board. Periwinkle. Periwinkle's older brother of lavender, and it has a special place in my heart as well. Periwinkle will be the star in January. It's really nice puddle of color. I'm going to pick up this edge a little bit because we don't need so much here. And now I'm going to spray directly on the ochre color, so it's going to be watered down. So it's even easier to transfer it on the background here. It's a golden yellow-brown color. Let's give it a chance to go into some of the spaces in between. Of course, remember we are going to add some pattern on the top of that as well. It's really golden brown. We can also add a drop of the burnt sienna into this to make some parts a little bit darker. Because when you water it down, it returns into gold. If you would like to have a tiny bit of brown, we can do it as well at this stage. So you can see the difference in the color. It's really different. So we have more of the effect that we could see in the mood board. So there will be some golden brown colors, but there will be some colors which are just nice pinks. So it's almost like watercolor background we created. Now on the top of that, we're going to play with the white stencil. So it's a lot of that is going to disappear, but these places where it's mixing, it's going to be partly visible. So now we have to dry that, but pink is kind of like safe wherever it is dry. So it's not going to blend anymore. You can move your paint a little bit now, or you can just let it dry in the places where it is. It's really beautiful color combination. Right away, inspiring. And we're going to combine it with a touch of the lavender as well. So now, if I want to put pattern on the top of that, it has to be dry because we can't put wet mediums on the top of the wet paint because everything is going to bleed. So it takes a moment, but it's a great way to see how you can really use your acrylics. You can paint your background fully, or you can play with them using water techniques, and you can use the water to make them more transparent. You can make them flow, and after drying, they're going to be permanent for you. So this is a great opportunity to play with different effects. You can pick up some of the colors. You can make some parts of the colors stronger. So we've got, the first color was powder pink from the Sentimental set. And that was the color of the pink. And then we added the ochre. And because I wanted to also make this ochre a little bit more saturated into brown, I added a bit of burnt sienna, which is neutral brown, that comes in the core line of the liquid acrylics. It's one of the most popular paints. Of course, when drying, you can see the tones are changing. It's also great to see that, in fact, ochre has a lot of the golden yellow undertone. And that may be great inspiration for some extra touches with golden paint, because how nicely this is going to correspond with the golden paint now. I'm going to give it a little bit more of the color here. Too much. Where's my water sprayer? Okay. Almost there. And now, something white on the top. We can use the paper texture paste, which is lovely. And it's going to give me this nice white background. And we can always add a little bit of the extra color on the top of that as well, if we want to. Just we need to wait until everything is dry enough, so there will be no problem. Just look at this background. Instant watercolor marble effect. I just pick up some of this. And then the image we wanted to use is in sepia color, so it's going to go nicely with that. What is the difference between texture paste and paper texture paste? Well, it's hard to say because there are many texture pastes, but one of the texture pastes is going to be sand texture paste, and that's going to contain the sand inside of it. The other one is going to be graphite texture paste and has black sand and sparkle in it. If you ask about modeling paste, it is white flexible and smooth paste. Comparing to the paper texture paste, it is much more smooth and it doesn't absorb any color, while the paper texture paste contains some paper fibers, and that means the finish is going to be similar to the watercolor paper, and it's going to absorb the colors inside a little bit as well. My chat is ahead of the video. Okay, that is fun. Thank you. I'm happy you like this color combination. It's very romantic, yet it's kind of, I would say, girly as well. It's vintage, it's girly, and it's a little bit grungy. So there's a chance. I just need to make sure nothing is going to be wet. So I will dry every surface. I know it takes time, but it's worth it. There will be no accidents happening after that. We still have a tiny bit of water here. A cheat sheet, yeah, I get it. There was a piece of dirt here. Now we have an extra dot, like a white dot. Thank you. Yes, paper paste makes great snow as well. Okay. Oh, here's the last spot. Easy to say when you start touching. So if we want the photo to be mostly here, we need to add some textures here, and maybe disappearing in that way. So we will see. Well, now we still have this. We can add as well. It's going to be beautiful. But first, let's add some texture paste on the top. So it's going to give us, as you can, this white transition. So we are going to go from the outside to the inside, kind of like that. You can see how beautiful colors we have. Really great start. And it all is just inspired by the mood board. So something that we found on the mood board. You can make a cheat sheet yourself. I did with my paste, and yeah, true. It's like a color swatch. So maybe let's start this way, from the outside to the inside. I'm not going to put it everywhere because it's going to be rather a lot. Let's give it like a nice background start, and then we can continue. On the bottom, we'll dry the top a little bit though. So just to show you how nice the background may be. Yeah. So just wiping that a bit, and then we can add more of the texture here. It's going to be so pretty. So a bit of drying, so it's not going to stick to my stencil. Like, we don't want it everywhere, but we can add a little bit on the bottom. The photo and the composition will be here, so it's going to go behind. Mostly I need to dry this. I'm not touching yet. It's a little bit too early. And then 20 seconds later, I'm just checking with my fingers, right? I know. The paste dries rather quickly, but the places where it's more accumulated, it takes a bit longer. So let me figure out more or less how this works. More or less like that. We're not covering everything. Yeah, that is really nice background. And remember, we can always add extra on the top. Now it's going to dry for me, and I'm going to quickly go and put my stencil in the water so the paste is not going to be drying on the top of this. So once again, this is the product we used. It's going to stay white after drying. This is paper texture paste. It has the fluffy finish. So it's going to give us nice matte look on the top. Quite similar to the like a real watercolor paper. So I'm going to dry it until I can touch it and work with the composition and nothing will get smudged. If you feel at this stage you would like to add more of the color, you can, but it's better to wait once the composition is on, and then you will see what do you need and where possibly the colors are going to go. So just to make sure nothing is going to disappear. That's a very nice background start, I guess. I'm really tempted to add a little bit more on pink here and there. Yes, Kialaya, we had something like that for quite a while. We had a whole booklet with the different products put together, all the art basics, all the extravagance, all the art alchemy. We had that for quite a long time. And I think maybe it's a time to update it, because there was like an actual booklet retailers could get, and they were available to, you know, give away in the shops or to sell together with the products with the shops. So something like that existed. Maybe it's time to bring it back. Okay. Oh, almost. Too quick. So now thinking about the composition, we have this girl here that's going to go somewhere on the top. We have a bit of yarn that we also like to include. We've got the elements of the chipboard that are similar to the basket. And maybe it's time to paint it now. It should be white as well. So if I would like to include that, I would probably use that as a part of the background together with my twigs. So the next element I'm going to paint is going to be basket imitation. And that could be very nice painted white and then with the ochre on the top. So it is going to be something similar to the basket texture we could see in the mood board. And for that, I can just use the white gesso. I think the chipboard is going to give me like the, you know, effect of the basket. So I just need to cut it into smaller pieces and add it. So let's just start with adding the neutral background. I'm not sure how much of that I'm going to use, but it looks very promising. So I'm just going to paint, wipe and paint again in a moment. let's dry it. And again, we can spray it with the ochre color to create like the basket effect, but at the same time, once we have the liquid acrylics here on the plate, I could just probably use my brush to paint it and to give me like this color I'm looking for. It would be just a shame not to use the leftovers I've got here. Okay, dry enough, so it should show us the color the way we want. Let's take the watered down version first. Let's use it a little bit, and then we're going to add more of the saturated color as well. So I'm just creating the color that is going to look like straw basket. More of the ochre now to make it more saturated as well in some parts. Let's pick up some burnt sienna as well. You never know what may be useful. We have quite a big piece. We can cut it later on. So so far I'm preparing the elements of different kinds, and I was thinking about the yarn. I could probably wrap it around the photo to add this fluffy element, or style it somehow around the photo. So it's going to look really nice. I also found this tag. This is my clothes tag, but it's just in the perfect color combination. So maybe I should include it as a backdrop somewhere, as a found object in my collage. It has this nice pink that is not exactly, but similar to the powder pink, and this brown color of the paper. It looks very much like ochre, so I can see some good potential here. I wanted to use the frame, so I have to figure out now how I'm going to organize the elements here. So a bit of thinking and staging and auditioning to decide what goes where. I'm going to put it on the side for now, so I have more space. I have the pieces, and by the way, I just have to say how pretty it is. It's pink on one side and green on the other side. It's perfect. So this is taken from my garden, and I was thinking I can combine that together somehow with the frame, and then together with the frame we could combine the image, the photo, so it's going to give us more of the dimension. Of course, this will require a little bit of love because it's not easy to put it together. I will need to cut some of the elements and then combine it with the basket background and then some extra elements. And then the yarn, I had this idea. I have this. Maybe we could wrap it around here, of course without this pink color, but it could be a nice accent. And then some fluffy stuff happening in the background, again without the pink. So let's see what we can do. We need to put it a little bit closer to this side. It's going to give us more of the space. First of all, I'm going to cut the frame so it can sit over my branch. It's not the most flat frame, but let's say we don't care. I just cut it. It's a resin cast from one of the Finnabair molds. This is a mirror. And this way, we can also add a little bit of the magical touches, and we can move the frame a little bit, so it's going to look even better. Come on. First of all, we have to get rid of these little extra twigs. I guess. A bit of cutting. and styling. We need to make it more flat on one side. That's a good promising start. Or maybe, wait, I have a better idea. That's even better. And it's going to go with the doily. Then we can use a drop of the hot glue to keep the twig in place. We can add a second one. That is going to be the optimal solution. I guess. And then we can put our girl over that. So not to waste the great idea, I'm going to stick it in this position. I considered flipping the canvas, but I don't like the idea. The canvas is long and the photo is tall. Like, this is kind of like, it kind of doesn't work for me today. I don't like that concept. I prefer to have them tall and tall. I can move it a little bit this way. Like that. And a little bit more down. Upside down? No! No, upside down. No, 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 no. You see, we have the problem. I don't like that area and you do. So this is the moment we would have to kind of like, we would do different things and the result would be still very nice. So that's why I guess I'm not doing it. But if it was your canvas, of course you should do it, because we have different perspective on how we see things. You know, this is also important thing when we create. We are people of different styles, different tastes, and different creative perspectives. Yes, we are using one of the Tracy's images. Tracy is Art House Whimsy. I was looking for something that will go with the autumn season, and then I found this one. It's from the set She's Got Halloween, and that's a cute little witch, and there are some pumpkins, and the color goes really lovely with ochre. So that's why I decided to go with this, because I was thinking it's really autumn-like. I'm not mentally ready to switch to the winter projects yet. Give me a couple of days, I will. So for those of you who don't know what I'm doing, I'm just switching to heavy body gel now. This is the gel medium, which is super thick, transparent, and sticky. And I'm going to use it to stick my embellishments in the right positions. Everything, including the big and heavy stuff. So yeah, don't take it personally, because, you know, here we are discussing, and I'm not saying I always do the things the best possible way. because that would be impossible and extremely boring as well. So that's the plan. Then we go with this half of the frame before I'm going to stick the twigs first. And that is giving us like the repetition of this pattern. So now to attach these guys, I'm going to use the hot glue just in case, but before we need to add a tiny bit of the basket as well. So let me clean my finger and cut it into pieces so we can add a bit of that on the outsides of the composition. I don't want to make everything else disappear, so let's try to play with bits and pieces instead. That's nice things about the chipboards. You can cut them into any pieces you like. Okay. That's a little bit too long. So this is going to be like the basket part. Some can go under and some can go over the doily. Yes, Art House Whimsy is the Etsy shop with digital prints you can buy and print at home. And you get a lot of beautiful pictures, graphic designs in the bundle, so you can play with different options. Okay, we have it this way, so maybe a little bit of the basket going that way as well. Just to make it less straight. Oh, like that. In general, any image in sepia is going to work nicely here because we've got shades of brown. So that is most likely going to work. Let's see if I want a little bit more of that. That's a nice start. She's a talented graphic designer. She works with nice images. She knows how to use AI to create really nice photos, graphic designs that you can use. So you can take the advantage of her talent. And she's got also freebies from time to time, and she does sale from time to time as well. So let's take a short recap of what we have so far. We've got two colors of the liquid acrylic paints, ochre and powder pink in the background to create the effect of almost like marble paper. Then on the top of that, once it was dry, we put the white paper paste, which is like white paste with a tiny bit of the paper texture. So this was step number 2, using stencil from the Shabby Romantic set, the new limited edition stencils. Then we added the crochet doily, And then we got this piece of chipboard that is going to imitate the basket effect, and we painted it with white gesso and then ochre acrylic paint. And I think I added a drop of the burnt sienna as well to get a bit of these like darker spots in an easy way. Then we glued it all together using heavy body gel. And now I will pick up the excess of the gel so it doesn't give us these big blobs. Now I would like to attach the twigs that are going to give us this natural element. So wish me luck, because it may be a little bit of the challenge, but it looks like I need to stick it here, here, and here. I will try to cover that spots later on, so nobody will see that. Come on. I plugged it in, it doesn't work. Oh no. What happened? It is on. The heat gun is on. My hot glue gun is dying on me? No. I give it a chance. Maybe I didn't do it the right way. So the plan is like this. And then we're going to add more of the elements around it. We've got the whole basket of ideas. I have these old clips. I think they were supposed to be used for clipping the curtains. So that is quite nice. I also have a clip like this. Yeah, the glue gun is not working, but yeah, it was working 2 days ago. I think I didn't plug it in correctly. So we have a nice piece of wood. I can try to combine here with the twigs, and then on the top of that we can add some other details and elements. I have some buttons. Yeah, new glue gun on the list. I know, right? Maybe some little things like pipes. Yeah, I would like to fill that space under the photo with some fun details, so it's going to look rich and detailed. And then I'm going to add a bit of yarn. I have some flowers, of course, I would like to include. Let's see if they are dry. They are perfectly lavender in color, so yay! It's going to be nice color detail. I have a nice label as well, so label may be added later on as one of the details here. Okay, now it's heating up. Oh, I just got so worried for a moment. In the meantime, I'm going to put the yarn around the image. Let's stick it with something that is going to keep it in place, maybe a piece of tape. .3D foam square. So we have a tiny bit of a accent here. Now some details to make it work. Let's stick the twigs first. I have to be smart and make sure they're not going to be visible later on, but I hope it will work. Ooh, look at that, a needle. Yeah, the twigs are usually a problem to stick, so it's better to be patient. I'm going to give it a nice background. I need some smaller gears to go with that. Let's see what we will see in here. This one. So now I'm building the background behind the photo to add dimension and layers. It's going to be very high up because of the twigs, so I have quite a lot of space. So this is a little bit too big. Maybe I'm going to swap this one with this one. It's transparent at the same time, so it's even more fun. It's a piece from the tape runner. That's a good start. Here we go. That's a good start. We have nice details here. The yarn may be coming from the background. We will see a piece of wood. I have some nice buttons as well. Feels too small. I would like to add something that is going to balance that nicely. So we're going to add the moth. Well, if you were late, don't worry. I can always make a recap for you and you can watch the first part without a problem. So far we were using liquid acrylics to create the background. We're using the Sentimental set. And then we worked with the paper paste to create the white texture on the top. Now we're building the layers under the photo. This photo is on the top of the twigs. That's why it's so high up. So I will have to support it with other elements, and that's why we have so many fun details happening here. I still have plenty of space here on that side. So far, this is the plan. So we have 3 nice gears. This is a bit of a nice of the balance and flow. Let's see what we can do now. Yes, after the painting, the wood will be visible. I'm planning to put some clear gesso over it. So don't worry. And I hope I can find smaller pieces of wood as well, because I had it somewhere. And they would be nice if we can repeat the same shape in the other parts. So let me see if there are any other big elements I would like to include before it's too late. Do I want to add some tap with water? Maybe. Sorry, but this was my dog trying to give us a sign that it's very important he will go out now for some strange reason. Yes, that was Kai. Just being funny. And making strange noises. Just in case if you wonder, yes, life with dogs is never boring. Yeah, he's very much attention seeker, and he likes to be included in everything. I'm going to add a little bit of the little pipeline here, so it looks like maybe she's in the garden. And these pipes, they just bring the water to the garden. Just a nice detail to add, I think. Let's pull it a little bit more down. We have the basket, so why not having the, it looks like a fence. So we can also add something that looks like the tap with water. Yeah, the noises, I know, right? He's very talkative, and he can tell you exactly that he needs the attention now. Okay, so the girl is going to go like this. We will have that. Let's see if we can add some other little pieces. Just to make it more fun. Okay. You're fighting over one toy. Yeah, that happens a lot here as well. So let's say it goes like that. So now if I want to, I can stick something on the top here. I really hope to find this other piece of wood as well. You know, these small slabs, I had them somewhere. And the best part is not too far. They were here on my table. And haha. Well, they may be just the leftovers of them, but at least I've got 2. Whoa. Well, they're well glued together. Well, that's it, I guess. They have to go as they are. There's nothing I can do. So I'm sticking this one here. And then finally finding the perfect position. So we can see a bit of this, and then this one is a little bit too big. Yeah. I guess these two guys have to go. Come on, you can fit. How about that? Wooden elements. So let's dry it. I will see if there are some smaller things such as buttons, and then of course we are supposed to add these hydrangeas as well, and a piece of yarn, and we have a text and a clip. I'm not sure which clip yet, but I think this is the right moment to dry it and start painting. So we would add the color to the embellishments. Inspiration for the name Kai? Well, Kai is one of the characters from the fairy tale about the Queen of Winter. And he was a blue-eyed boy, just like my dog. And he was kidnapped by the Queen of Winter when the mirror she had smashed into pieces. The pieces of this mirror got into his eyes, and this is how he started following the Queen of Winter. And then his best friend, a girl called Gerda, was looking for him all over until she got to the palace of the Queen of Winter, and she was able to save him. So that's a really nice story. And I was thinking, you know, the blue eyes and so on and so on. So let's move the camera a little bit so you can see the whole thing. Oh. That will be better. So I'm just going to dry the gel medium so all of the elements are going to stay in place when I'll be putting the gesso on. I'm going to put clear gesso because I really like the natural colors, and I don't want to really get rid of any unexpected colors here, so it will be keeping the natural colors of the wood as well. Yes, the Snow Queen, exactly. I'm not sure if that was exactly the story about of Frozen. I think they took some other folk tales from Norway and Sweden, but I guess we'd have to ask somebody from that area to confirm, because the Snow Queen doesn't really go with the Frozen story. So that's why the Kai name. So we have so far the colors of pink, but once we will start adding the bits of the lavender, it's going to look very nice. We may need to decide what kind of color we are going to put on the top of the elements. Probably it's going to be the ochre color. So let me dry it a little bit more. Now of course you are not stuck because I forgot to put gel here. Because I was really doing my best to stick the elements, but then, well, look at me. So far, so good. We've got the brown, we've got the pink, we've got the inspiration taken from the basket elements, we've got the background that is very much like the background we could see in the mood board. So I'm pretty pleased so far. We can make a little checkup and see if there's anything important we have to consider before we will start to put colors on. I think the ochre will be the most important color to put on, but first we need to prime it with the gesso. Clear gesso is going to be transparent after drying, but it will turn all of the surfaces matte, so it will be easier to put any kind of paints or any kind of waxes on the top. We have to be careful, of course, because these elements, they need to be dry before we start painting. That's why I keep drying with the heat gun, making sure that they are not going anywhere. Especially this is very uneven surface, so it's good to be sure. And this canvas is really moving, so it's not the most expensive canvas you can get on the market, but it was not really needed for the project like that. This is not the brown paper, this is the heat resisting matte. Why am I using the clear gesso instead of white? Well, I don't want to paint my brown color of the wood because I like it a lot. And at the same time, I don't really have any colors that don't match our color palette. So I can use clear gesso without damage to the color of the wood. And then all of the other things are just going to be primed and easy to paint. So perfect solution, I guess. I would use white gesso if the colors were dark and I needed to repaint them completely. So clear gesso goes on the top as a primer. Of course, if I'm going to open. Let's take the brush and brush it on the top of embellishments. It's going to be invisible layer of the primer on the top of everything. We don't really have to prime the doily, but because it is there, it's going to get painted very likely, so I'm just going to work around it. If it's painted, it's painted. When it comes to the twigs, again, it's up to you. You don't have to really paint them. It's more important to paint the things that are hard to paint with waxes or with acrylic paints. So wood, because it's very absorbing, or resin elements because they are slippery, or plastic elements because the same reason, or metal because it's slippery. So whatever is problematic background, the paints won't love it. It's always a great idea to prime with gesso. So in fact, what I'm doing now on the top of the wooden pieces, I'm going to make it easier for them to preserve the natural color, because it kind of works as isolation. If I want to remove the paint of the wooden elements, it's going to be much easier with the gesso on. It's not going to soak into the background. Uh-oh, more glue. Yeah, more glue. Let's dry it separately and stick it again. That happens. So now we dry everything, and then you can see clear gesso keeps getting more and more transparent the more dry it is. So that's the way it works. I can take this opportunity and paint the things I didn't see because of the wooden slab. Now the wooden slab is gone. So yeah, I will need to stick it on in a moment. I'm just picking up this just so that it got stuck inside of the gears. So we can do a little bit of a checklist to see, do we have the things we wanted in our project? I'm sure they have good wooden panels. I have to talk to them because I have some ideas to use as a base. So yeah, I know I should. These are just leftovers from some classes, so I have it at home here. Okay, it's almost dry, so you can see it's almost invisible now. I'm going to stick this stubborn piece of wood again, but have to check where it is going to go, like this. Let's give it a moment of drying. Now it's the moment to add smaller bits and pieces and add some touches, but let's paint this part first. Let's look at our checklist. So we have the background with the texture and color. We have the natural branches. We have the yarn ready. We have the hydrangeas ready. And then we have a bit of the basket texture. So well done, well done. We don't have this, but we don't have to include that, of course. So let's dry it from different angles, and then we can try to add a little bit more of the color. And now the question is, should we go pink or should we go ochre? This is the important question. Brown is going to be more vintage, ochre is going to be more girly and romantic. Some yellow glass beads would be good match. Yeah, I think so. You vote for pink. We have to include this as well. So it will be nice to add a little bit more of pink. So we sprayed pink or brown. Let's try a bit of pink and see if this is going to give us what we want. We still have some bits and pieces and details, but they can come later on. Pink. Yeah, we need to go with the powder pink or the ochre. So I think we're going to go with powder pink first. If I don't like it, I can always add the ochre. Nobody will tell me that it was not part of the plan. It's very subtle, so we don't have to worry too much. I'm going to start with the pink, and I'm going to add more of the brown later if I decide to do so. Pink gears. Now a bit of the water. Okay, here it is. We can do a little bit more here and there. And then we will finish with a drop of ochre as well. So I quite like the colors to flow and to reveal the background color as well, because I'm going to do the lighter highlights. And now a drop of brown, so the ochre color. I need less water on this paper, on this plate. So we kind of repeat the same colors we have on our background. So this is not invasive plan. We can't go wrong this way. See what I'm trying to do? Kind of everything comes together in an easy to follow way. Later on, we can always highlight that with some white pearl. It's supposed to be light in tone. I'm adding a bit of burnt sienna here as well to create some darker tones in here. Just a tiny bit. So there's a bit of visual drama going on. Again, not too much. More of the pink. Don't forget the lavender is coming as well, so that is going to be a challenge. Okay, let's dry and see what happens. Oh, the stencil set is on the back order. Which one, Anya? I'm really tempted to include some gold very soon, but first I have to put the flowers in. So like, well, I have to wait. I have to wait. This. Once we dry it perfectly, we can add other paints or we can add waxes on the top if we want. The spot I don't like inside of these details, there should be darker color. So let's look. White pearl should be a good choice. Yeah, they go nicely together. I have to say, that was a very good combination to start with. You can see the heat, the hot glue already melted. I have to stick it again here, but okay, okay. It is fine. Everybody's fine. Just stick together nicely. Okay. Now this is not going to fit. It's not going to fit, so you can go. I have this for such a long time. Maybe finally I will be able to fit it in. This is not going to fit. Or maybe. It's another element of wood. I have to say I quite like it. The color goes really nicely with the concept of the project. And it's grungy. Nice. Quite nice. This treasure thingy. It's so big. It doesn't make sense here. Yeah, the hot glue is not friendly kind of stuff when it comes to the keeping things permanently in place. Not my favorite at all. But sometimes if you have the twigs, you have to try to attach them like that, because otherwise they're too dimensional to stay in place. They're going to be sticking out so much. No, that is not bad at all. Now, the challenge is we need to include these guys. So first I'm going to add some wax. Let's see if there's any space for this title here. No. 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 Sorry. So let's add a bit of the white pearl wax to add the highlights. So it's going to catch a little bit more of the light on the details first. It doesn't have to be a lot, but just to show the details of the elements we like a little bit more. You can always, you know, darken it later on if you want to, but for me it's the mostly for showing the textures. So the frame, the edges of the gears, maybe a little bit of the embellishments made with metal, and of course on the butterfly. The butterfly needs a lot. Thank you, Chrissy. You are so encouraging. What I really want to do is to add more white from the outside, because I think it's a little bit too busy in the corners, but give me a moment. That is not a good position for it. That makes more sense. In fact, it makes quite a lot of sense. So now, this white color I need to add on the outside. Before I'm going to stick the flowers on, add some splats. I can in fact put a tiny title on that clip as well. This has to stick. It will be easier if that was not bending. Let's pick up the things that are going to match our color palette. So the yarn. So these are the pieces of yarn that actually make sense. Not too much, but something. Let's see if there's anything we can do to kind of take the advantage of it and add the fluffiness here and there. Who knows? I'm not convinced. I have an option. Now, to close the composition from the outside a little bit, I feel I need to add a bit of white gesso just to clean it up a bit. It may not make sense to you, but it feels better to me if there's going to be a little bit more of the white coming from the corners and from the top. So you can always do it later on if you feel that you have too much color somewhere. You can put 1 or 2 coats of gesso in there just to whitewash that. Just make sure you blend it nicely. So, you know, don't be too heavy-handed. It's better to go in delicate layers instead. Dry it and then repeat the step. So to get it covered, it's going to be at least 2 layers. Just especially these 2 corners, they were a little bit too heavy. So kind of closes the composition on the outside. I'm picking the last elements I may want to include. So some of the buttons and pins. Now, the challenge is to put these guys in. I have to say it really looks good. Oh, nice. Everything has to be nicely balanced. So let's find a way. Here I'm going to use the hot glue because it's not going to work, because it's hanging, literally hanging over. I can see it is working. Like, I like this spot inside. I don't want to cover this. I'm afraid if I'm going to add the yarn, it's going to take away too much of the attention from the hydrangeas, because they're rather subtle. This one needs a tiny dot of brown in the middle as well. That is going to work really nicely. So how do you like this palette coming together? It's really interesting to see. I want this to stick in here. I need to support it because it's empty and shallow. So I'm going to put a 3D foam square here and double layer that. Oh, come on. I need a little bit of these details now. We just finish, you know, we're fitting the finishing touches. To add a tiny bit of the fun. Well, it's the Halloween is just like full here. The fact that the girl is wearing the hat of the witch, it shouldn't really distract us from the fact it is pumpkins and so on. So I don't think I want to add crystals and things like that. I would like to add something inside of the flowers though. Some like something like, I'm not sure, like pearls. Does it make sense? Pearls. I am not going to touch it in the end. I don't want to stick pebbles everywhere. I keep doing that in my classes because it's great finishing touch. But when I'm at home, I have more options. So this green color is kind of distracting, but it makes sense. I don't want to do that, this yarn, because it's too strong color. Pearls. This brown is really nice. Do I have any other brown? To balance that. Nice. So, do I have any pearls? The best would be the half pearls. I have something like this, which is maybe acceptable. Yes, the splatters idea. We have to do the splatters. They need to come here, and it has to be lavender. But yeah, what I don't really see here, I like the middle of them, but at the same time I don't. Okay. It's okay. They're not too aggressive. I guess not every pearl wants to go. And it's a great excuse to finally use these little crystals I've got on my table for so long. Splatters. Splatters. This one we won't see anymore anyway. Lavender splatters. And a tiny text here on the clip or somewhere here on the yarn. So we're almost there. Sorry, I got a little bit too into the project. I didn't look at the comments. Let me see. So we have the centers like that. Well, I'm happy you came. Even if you're late, you can always see the beginning a little bit later on when the live stream is going to finish, you can come back and watch it, and you can share it with your friends as well, because it's open for everybody and free. So I highly recommend. Yeah, these centers are neutral. They have a little bit of sparkle. They're not pearls, but almost like that. Yes, buttons are my thing. I have a container with buttons here, but I don't use them often enough now. But with these details of different kinds and some pins and kind of like more girly style, I think that makes sense. Yeah, the purple comes from the mood board. I wanted to include all of the colors from the Sentimental color palette, and I think it really makes sense, because when I was putting these colors together, they kind of go together nicely. So what we have to do are the splatters and a touch of gold here and there. So maybe I will do the purple first. Let's add some water to it, or the spray. And then we can add a touch of gold. Yeah, we want this to be visible, so it has to be quite dense. That was a hair, a piece of hair. So now we have more of the balance with the purple in the whole project. Let's dry it. So everything we do with the liquid acrylics after drying is permanent. So if you see that you're missing one of the colors in your project, you can absolutely go for a splatter in one of the finishing touches. There are many layers, but they're kind of sticking nicely. We used quite a lot of heavy body gel. And then for the twigs, we used the hot glue. And now we kind of are on the last stage. So I would like to add a tiny bit of the gold, just for a bit of the extra shimmer. And to make that work, you don't have to put a lot of the paint. It's the opposite. You want to dilute the Sparks paint, because it has so much of the mica in it. It's just going to be better to take a tiny bit. So I will take that mica, and I'm going to take some water and just use the diluted paint to add some touches in some parts. So for example, I'll clear just so I can close. On the wings of the butterfly or somewhere on the edge, just to keep the sparkle in the good balance. Water. You can see how shimmering it is. Hello, hello. I'm very happy to see more people joining. So just adding a touch of the gold here and there. It doesn't have to stick nicely because it's on the top of the wax, but it's going to help us catch the light later on. And then you can highlight the elements you particularly like, so it's going to be visible a little bit more. And then the last but not least, we have to add the photo. And that's going to be a challenge because it's such an uneven surface. So yeah. No matter what you do, remember about the balance. It has to be done evenly. Even without photo, that makes sense. Oh, thank you. So you can see how it is catching the light now. Now, let's stick. I can stick it here, here, and here. Double-sided tape. Here we have to put 2 layers minimum. Yeah, not bad at all. And now maybe the final text. I have 2 ideas for placement. There's some little words from Tim Holtz. Black is going to be too dark, but we can look soulful. No. Amazed, hopeful, blessed, magical. Magical, that's a good word. So we have the word magical. somehow I don't like it. Why? Maybe something longer. The worst part, finding the right text. Too big. Heart and Soul. Lucky. No. Kind of is funny, like the hardest part is finding the right text. Okay, one more idea. That color is going to work nicely. Follow your dreams, believe in magic, just imagine. Be inspired. I believe in fairy tales, how this is going to work. I believe in fairy tales, maybe. Or one of a kind. I am just so lost when it comes to text. It looks okay without a text, but I feel like, oh, maybe I should try and add something. Okay, I kind of would like to have something here, but I don't find something that I like. So, or here. Or here. That's the plan. I just have to find the right wording. So let's imagine that I found the right one and we can proclaim it finished, because it's kind of rather boring watching me struggle to find the right text. So I will show you all the details again. And as a reminder, this was all done with the mood board we created together with my design team and my friend Tusha for you to enjoy in November, based on the Sentimental liquid acrylic set that is on the market right now. In December, we're going to work with the Precious set, in January with Juicy, and in February with Dreamy. So if you'd like to try, if you feel inspired, please tag us on Instagram and give us a chance to appreciate and admire your work. So just to remind you, if you'd like to see the mood board, it is posted some time ago on Finnabair.com and on Finnabair Instagram. This is the mood board I used for that project. Here is the result. So of course on the screen it's much more vibrant. Here is more pastel, but it is exactly based on that idea. We have the not only the color palette, but also some hints and inspirations what you can include in your project. So I was explaining that at the very beginning, how the mood board worked for me, how I gathered the element, and this is the final result. I think it is quite nice. I like the idea of the organic elements in it. It has the vibes of the autumn in that. It has really nice background inspired by the mood board, and then the hydrangeas, they work really well. So I hope this was entertaining, and I hope some of the techniques I was showing you with the liquid acrylics will inspire you to try. The background was done with the watered down acrylics on the canvas, and then we were also turning them into spray to color the hydrangeas for the color palette we wanted. So I hope that was fun. Don't forget to share that link with your friends. Don't forget to check out our social media. Everything is in the description of the video. So you can check my Patreon, you can check my Instagram, my Facebook, and Finnabair brand, so Finnabair Studio. We also have Instagram, we also have Facebook, and of course we've got separate YouTube channel, and we have TikTok as well. So you can check us out. My design team members are very talented and they keep providing the best inspiration for you. So if you are inspired to try, if you want to see more of the Sentimental set in action, November is the right moment to look at our designs on finnabair.com and on Instagram and Facebook, because this is the set we picked for that month. I hope that was fun. I have to find the right text, but it looks like I need to dig into my stash and find something that is going to fit nicer into that concept. So I hope this autumn inspired project is going to give you some ideas. What can you do in your canvases, books, journals, and how to put the colors together, even if they don't feel like fitting, because the trick here was to start with brown and pink to paint almost everything in that color palette, and then add just the touches of the purple and do it in a very balanced way. And this is how we make the flow of the flowers around the girl, and then finish that with a bit of the splatters around. So I hope this trick is going to help you. Try different ways of using the liquid acrylics, and I hope you're going to fall in love with the Sentimental set and try it in your projects as well. Thank you so much for watching. It was great to have you all here. If you want to see more, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Patreon, and we are in touch very, very soon. Bye! Bye-bye, and thank you so much for coming and watching. And share the video with your friends, remember. And give it a thumb up, because it's better for visibility. And subscribe to the channel. Bye!